Let's start with practice 3-8, constructing parallel and perpendicular lines. Constructions, got a compass and a straight edge, you are all set. Number 1, construct a line perpendicular to line L through point Q. These are some of the quickest ones to do because all we need to use are 2 arcs. So first, let me extend line L a little bit. It's not going to be long enough for us to intercept the other arcs. So here we go. That's all I needed. Now I'm going to set my point on point Q and adjust the compass so that it is going to make an arc a little bit bigger than the distance down to line L here. And that ought to do it. So now I can make a mark on line L that's equidistant from Q in both places. So now with these 2 points, these 2 intersections, now I make my first arc, pointy point on the new intersection, and draw. See if I can get out of the way of the light and out of the way of the camera with this. Ah, there we go, got it. So first arc comes around like this. Now I pick it up, put the pointy point over here on this intersection. And now I connect the 2 intersecting arcs. And I have a perpendicular line. I believe this is what you used to call Turtle Man from other chapters. So same process on Q, on number 2. I'm going to make this arc just a little smaller. That ought to do so that I don't run out of line. Here we go. Mark 2 intersections with the point on Q, intersecting through line L. Now I pick it up, I put that point on the first of the intersections and draw the arc. And move it down here, draw that arc. Connect the intersections. That one was a little off, sorry. My pencil is mounted to the side of the compass, and so for that reason some of these arcs are going to be a little wonky, but also I just have some tape holding this on. So make do with what you've got. Let's continue. Number 3. Q is up here. So I need to mark 2 places that are equidistant from it. And I'm going to open this up just a little bit. There we go. So here's my first location. Here's my next location. Now I'm going to pick up the compass, put it on one of the new intersections, and draw the arc. Move it over here and draw that arc. And connect the intersections. And we've made 3 perpendicular lines in less than 4 minutes. Let's continue the trend. Now we have to construct a line perpendicular to L through point T. This is a little trickier because the point that we need to go through is actually on the line that we're trying to make perpendicular. So first, let me extend line L a little bit. And lucky for us, they're all collinear. And now I can begin. First, I need to mark places that are equidistant from T, just like we did up here. They happen to be away from the line, but I have to do it again down here. So with the pointy point on T, mark 2 places, one on one side, one on the other, that are equidistant. Here's one. There's one. And now what happens if I just move over like I was doing before and put the intersection there and draw an arc? Well, that arc would actually intersect right at T. So I need arcs that overlap. So we open up the compass a little bit, and now you can draw some new arcs. There's the first one. Move over to your other intersection. There's the second one. Connect them, and they'll go right through T and be perpendicular. Over here, I've got a new T for number 5. I'm going to close this up a little bit. So first I need to mark where are the points equidistant from T on either side of this line. There's 1. There's 2. So now I move, but I can't just use that same arc opening. I need a bigger arc opening to have intersecting, overlapping arcs. So here's my first one. And the second. Connect the intersections, and they go right through T. Number 6. T's way over here, but that doesn't bother us. I am going to erase this little line there so I don't get confused. So now I have to be equidistant from T on either side of T and going through line L. So here's one point, and swing it around to see another. Now I'll move the point over to my new intersection, but I can't just draw the arc because it won't overlap. Open the compass a little bigger, draw the arc, move to your other intersection, draw the other arc, and connect your overlapping arcs. Perpendicular. Now, construct a line parallel to line L and through point K. Parallel lines, you need to construct congruent angles. Do you see any angles? No, I don't either. So let's make an angle. So step 1 in parallel lines is we need a line, we need a point, and now we make an angle. You could have made a bigger angle or a smaller one. It doesn't really matter that much. So I need to now, step 2, mark 2 arcs. I'm just changing my opening angle here to be a little smaller. Oh, it's hard to change. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to mark 2 arcs. One with the vertex of my 2 rays. Got it. And since I want my other line to go through K, that will be my other vertex. So now point goes on the K, draw another line. Draw another arc rather. Ooh, that's a little wiggly. Let me extend my angle here. There we go. So next step, open the compass so that it will connect this intersection with this intersection. How am I so far? From here, I need to open it just a little bit. Got it. So now I measure this opening, and now I go up here, and at this intersection, now I make a similar distance along this arc. That means that I can connect K through my intersection, and I'll have a line parallel to L. Aha, got it. Now I have to go parallel to L and through K, which is way up here. What was that first step? Make some angles. Doesn't really matter how big of an angle you choose. If you happen to create an angle that's exactly 60 degrees, then this distance here will be the same as this distance here, which is also the same as this distance here. But we're going to not try for that, so that we will have to change the compass a little bit, which is fine. There we go. I've got an angle. Next step, mark 2 arcs. I can open my compass a little bit now. Pointy point goes on the intersection, and I draw an arc. Move up to my other point, because that's what I want my line to go through. Mark a new arc. Now I measure this compass opening from here over to here. Yep, just about right. Come up to the other arc that I made. Now connect K with this intersection. Whoa. Hold the straight edge still while you do this, and you get much straighter lines. Again. So there we go. This part's parallel to that one. Good. And last, number 9. What am I missing? An angle. So let's make an angle. I'll go kind of steep on this one. And now I have to mark 2 arcs. Well, let me put this right here and mark that arc. I'm even going to make a really big arc to prove to you that that's okay. So my first vertex is here. My next vertex will be through this point K. So I just move up to that point. Doesn't matter where this arc went through. Now I just draw the exact same arc. And then measure this opening angle. A little big. Let me tighten it up a little bit. How'd I do? Yep, good. Go up to your next vertex. And now connect K, not this intersection up here, but K, with your new intersection. Parallel. Now, for those of you who are fans of the subtitles and the poetry that has been resulting from the subtitles on these videos, I have actually made a poem for you to help out with the subtitles. So here we go. To find a yellow Mustang, look for a cookie sheet with fine elephants. Don't seal every airplane pillow in a bookcase, but unravel parasol candy corn in spring. Thank you. Moving on then, number 10. Ideally, you're using a actual printout copy of this, not the one in your book, so that you'll have all kinds of blank space on the back side to do 10 through 15. Number 10, construct a quadrilateral with one pair of parallel sides of lengths A and B. Let me sketch out what we're trying to do here. We need one pair of parallel sides, and one of them will be the length of A, the other will be the length of B, and it really doesn't matter where they are in relationship to each other, just as long as they're parallel. So another result could have been A and B. As long as they're parallel, A to B, the other two sides won't matter. So how can we do that? Let's copy the length of A onto the back side of the paper. And you can do that by just opening the compass with a pointy point on one end, pencil point on the other. And that is called calipers when you use something like this to move a measurement from one place to another. So now we'll flip to the back side. And you can probably see that on my paper, I can see through and see these lines. So I'm going to use that to my advantage. And I'm going to mark a point first so I know where I'm starting. Put the compass point on that point that I just marked and make a little arc so I know how far to be and get the length A. So from this point to that arc will be the length A, and I'm going to trace right on top of the black line from the opposite side of the page. So I've got A. Now B is going to be up here somewhere. I'm going to choose a point up here to be my B. Now that should look familiar, just like number 7, 8, and 9. I have a point up here. I need a parallel line through it, and this is what I'm starting with. So what do I do first? Make an angle. So B is going to go from here this way, but I need to construct that part of that parallel line first. So let me make my congruent angles. I'm going to use a little bit smaller angle here. That should do it. And draw that arc. There's one. I want my parallel line to go through this dot, not through this intersection. So I put the pointy point right on that dot. Ideally, the dot lies on the line that you drew. Now duplicate the arc. And now what? I need to measure this arc opening from here to here. Got it? And move up from this intersection to this intersection. Draw a line. Now I connect this new intersection with the dot. But wait a minute, that was supposed to be the length of B. Let's go find out. How long was B? B was from here down to here. Ooh, I almost had it. There we go. Come back to this side. Now I know B has to start here and only go as far as this hatch mark. So I can erase everything else, or not. And now I'm just going to connect this point with my other end point down here. And now I have A and B and the other two sides that aren't necessarily parallel. So that was number 10. Let's go with number 11. Just like number 10, except I'm going to use B and C this time. Well, I already have the compass open to size B, so let me draw that line first. And I've got some points here that I'm going to reuse. So here's one point. And I'll mark how long I have to go. Only that far, and that gets me the distance of B. There we go, so I've got B. And now I need the length of C somewhere up here. But first, let me start with making an angle. So there's my first arc. Since I haven't drawn a point where I'm going to start C, let me put it up here. Now I draw my second arc with that vertex. Now I measure the opening angle from this intersection down to my original segment B endpoint. Oh, not big enough, not small enough. Got it? Now from this intersection up to the other one. There we go. And now I'm going to connect this point through here, but I need it to go as far as the length of C. And C starts here and goes to there. So I'll go back to the other side, and now I know that this segment will start here, go through this little intersection, and end at this new arc. Get my straight edge ready from this point through that intersection as far as the next arc. And so this is C. Now I get to connect the endpoint of C with the endpoint of B. And there we go, parallel. Number 12 says, construct a square with side lengths B. Well, I've got B over here, so let me remeasure B. Tighten this up. A little too small. There we go. So now let me come down here and start the B. So from that point, that far, gets me a segment of length B. What is special about squares? Squares have 4 congruent sides and 4 right angles. So right angles, hey, that means they're perpendicular. So I have to construct a line perpendicular to B that goes through this point. Well, here's one way you can do it. Since you just made B over here, let's extend this a little bit and draw a line that goes in the other direction just as far. Why did I do that? Well, now I have 2 points that are equidistant from B. So I can put the pointy point on my new intersection. Open up the compass a little bit because this is just like number 4, 5, and 6. So I need a bigger compass opening to get overlapping arcs. And by connecting these 2 intersections, I should have perpendicular lines. But wait, this has to be as long as B is. Oh, well, you know what? I'll measure that in just a second. Will I still have this compass opening? Let me construct another perpendicular line going through this endpoint of B. So if B is from here to here, now I'm going to put this over here and extend my line just a little bit so that I know where my 2 points that are equidistant from this vertex will be. So I'm trying to make the line that starts right here on this point. And I need some overlapping arcs, so I open up the compass a little bit, swing one arc here, move to the other side, which happened to be this intersection, swing an arc there, and now connect my 2 points, my 2 intersections. And now, how long should these be? They should be B, which is this far apart. So now I'll measure that from here up would be to that arc, and on this side I have to measure from here up. So I need to extend this line just a little bit. And now if I connect these 2 intersections, I should have a square. And look at that. This final side had the length of B. And if this is perpendicular, so is this. And these guys would be as well. So there's number 12. Number 13, construct a right triangle with leg lengths A and C. Right triangle, that means I need a right angle, which means I need two things that are perpendicular. And the legs have to be length A and length C. So while I'm on this side of the paper, let me measure A. Good, got it. And I'll use this point right here. And length A will put me connecting this point with anywhere on that little arc. So I'll do a nice straight across kind of thing. So there's A. Now, it's just a right triangle, so I need a perpendicular line, a line perpendicular to A. Well, I still have this compass opening, and I have a point equidistant on this side. Let me put a point equidistant on the other side. And now I get to extend this. Great. Now I can make the bigger overlapping arcs. There you go, now you can see it. From here to here, and then from this other intersection point. Now I'll connect my intersections through here, and I have a right triangle. I'm sorry, I have a right angle. But it said I need the legs to be A and C. Well, I've got C measured right up here, so let me just copy that. So from this point up to here is the length of C. Extending my line just a little bit. So now I have C from here to here. I'll erase these so we don't confuse things. And now I connect this endpoint of C to this endpoint of A, and I get a right triangle. So there is number 13. Now, number 14 says construct a right triangle with leg lengths B and C. Since it is remarkably like the procedure for number 13, you get to do number 14 on your own. And then show me. Number 15, last one. Construct an isosceles right triangle with leg lengths A. Oh, wow. Remarkably like 13 and 14 again, but I'll do this one with you. Isosceles right triangle means that both of these legs have to be the same measurement. And we need them to be the length of A. So let me duplicate the length of A right here. Got it? I'll use this point. Connect my point with a place on the arc. You know what? Let me go a little askew so that you know it can be done. So here's my first A. Now I need something perpendicular to this, and let's make it go through this side. So now I'll make a little mark over here. And this way I know that I've got points that are equidistant on either side of my little dot here. So now these are equidistant. Now I get to put the point on the end point that I just made. Open up the compass a little bit. draw one arc, switch sides, draw the other arc, connect these, now these are perpendicular, but how long did this have to be? It had to be A. So let me tighten this up, and A goes that far. So now I could have drawn it on the bottom side down here, but I'm ending up on the top. So here we go. There's the rest of that leg that makes A. So now I can connect one end point of A to the other. And behold the right triangle. Great job. You are now ready for the Chapter 3 test. Good luck.